This is a video by Rich Ben. Today we're working on a Saturn S series. This happens to be a 1998 model. And what we're doing today is we are replacing the ignition lock cylinder. First thing we need to do is disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery. Next thing we need to do is to pry off this little bezel right here. It'll come right off and it'll go flying just like that. Make sure you can find it. There it is. Next thing we need to do is to remove this top cover right here. Now there are two screws underneath that panel that hold it in place. Now the tricky part is to find the right socket for the job. It's a 5.5 millimeter socket, but it's the diameter that's the trouble. Most sockets are too large. What I did here is I took a regular socket and ground the diameter down. Well, what you can do is you can go to a hobby shop and get one. 5.5 millimeter socket. They go in these wells right here. Okay, there it is. It's stuck in there. And then the other one is underneath the lever that tilts down your column. Okay, and there it is. Now after we get those screws out of the way, take a small screwdriver and go right in here between the two halves and pop that cover up on this side and on the other side. I've already done the other side, so that pops the cover up, and then you can just grab it and pull it out. Now on the back side of the lock cylinder is the release button. It's right down here. This is the button you'll have to press in to extract the lock cylinder. It's right past this little protrusion right here. Next thing we need to do is insert the key, turn to the accessory position. Now we need to find that little button, press in on it, and extract our lock cylinder. Now what happens when you pull the lock cylinder out, the piece that engages the ignition switch can come out of position. It has a spring underneath it, so go in there with a needle nose pliers and make sure that it's seated correctly, and gently lift up on it, and hopefully it's lined up now. Now if that piece is lined up, your new lock cylinder should just go in, engage just like that, and there it is. She's all in. If it seems like it doesn't want to go in, you'll have to go back in with your pliers and gently position that piece that goes into the ignition switch in the correct position. Now all there's left to do is put the top cover on, the bezel around the lock cylinder, put the negative battery cable on, and that's it. You'll have replaced your ignition lock cylinder on your Saturn S series.